order. And ask that at this time everyone join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. At this time we have Lexi Miller with us, a Muhlenberg County High School student. She's going to lead us in the pledge. Would everyone please stand?
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Okay, board members, at this time we need to approve our agenda. There are a couple of items that we do need to add tonight, and this will take two motions. The first one, I need a motion to amend the agenda by adding item I, consider agreement between Edmentum and the Muhlenberg County Board of Education, and item J, consider agreement between Naviance and the Muhlenberg County Board of Education.
I'll make a motion.
Have a motion to add item I and a second by Mr. Bowers. All in favor of approving to add I under the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And I'll make a motion to add item J, to consider agreement between Naviance and the Muhlenberg County Board of Education.
Second.
Second by Ms. Wells. All in favor of approving item J under the amended agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? I hear none. And I need a motion to approve the agenda with the added items.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
And a second by Mr. Johar. All in favor of approving the agenda with the added items, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? I hear none. And we'll go on down to recognitions. Ms. Carla.
Good evening, board members and all you guests. I'd like to begin by recognizing the men and women who we celebrated just earlier this evening for their years of service to our school district. There were a total of 18 retirees for the 2018-19 school year, with a combined total of 358 years of service. We wish the following individuals the best upon retirement: Judy Campbell, 32 years; Debbie Cornett, 30 years; Sandra Waltrip, 30 years; Vanessa Hayes, 27 years; Natalie Stovall, 25 years; Sharon Duncan, 23 years; Amy Draper, 22 years; Diane Corbin, 20 years; Gail Johnson, 20 years; Robin Meredith, 20 years; Susan Newman, 20 years; Bucky Edwards, 17 years; Sherry Brown, 16 years; Melissa King, 15 years; Susan Stallion, 15 years; Karen Geary, 10 years; Tony Allen, 8 years; and Sharon Stanley, 8 years. Now I want to recognize some exceptional students from our high school who recently brought home several awards from the state FFA convention. The FFA mission is to make a positive difference in the lives of students by developing their potential for premier leadership, personal growth, and career success through agricultural education. Students, as I call your name, please come up to the stage to receive a certificate of achievement from Superintendent Davis. I'm going to begin with Miss Lexi Miller. Lexi competed in the Shark Tank Entrepreneurship Contest, and she won a $5,000 grant for her greenhouse project. Lexi's the daughter of Alan and Stacy Miller. Congratulations. Mr. Austin Randolph. Austin won first place in the Turf and Lawn Impromptu Speaking Competition. Austin is the son of Eric and Cindy Randolph. Congratulations. We have a horse judging team, and they took first place. That team comprised of Miss Hannah Croft, the daughter of Eddie and Laura Croft, Miss Chloe Rickard, the daughter of Sean and Mindy Rickard, Miss Hannah Travis, the daughter of Danny and Vicki Travis, and Mr. Justin Lynn, the son of David Lynn and Tina Stallings. Yep. I've got two Hannahs and Chloe. Justin started this. Chloe, we'll do a group picture. We had 3 graduating seniors who earned their state FFA degree. Miss Haley Cornett, the daughter of Sean and Stacy Cornett. Miss Allison Short, she's the daughter of Jonathan and Emily Short. And Mr. Sam Benton, the son of Darren and Tammy Benton. Sam's not here, but just the ladies are here. Sam isn't with us tonight. I believe he's in Washington, D.C., but he also, he became the state FFA vice president for the Pennyroyal region. He will serve that term for the following year. He was one of 21 candidates who ran for state office from across the Commonwealth. He completed an application and rigorous interview process. So congratulations to all of you for your hard work and dedication to the FFA program. And I want to thank you, parents, for your commitment in getting these students where they needed to be and for your support of the FFA program. This would not be possible without our awesome FFA teachers. We have Jay McElwain, Mr. Scott Cronin, Mr. Derek Benton, and Miss Kristen Oates. We are very blessed to have such a great team of FFA teachers. Please join me in applauding for the teachers. And now our final recognition for the evening. She is now a celebrity in Muhlenberg County. And to present this really distinguished award, Mr. Lyles is going to come up.
Carla said I had 2 minutes to present this award. I'll have to cut down my 15-minute speech, which 7.5 were about me, so I'll cut this back. But this past Friday in Louisville, KASA recognized all 3 Fred finalists. The Fred Award recognizes classified staff who distinguish themselves as a vital component of a positive learning environment. When the winner was announced, they announced the 2019 Fred Award winner is Miss Angela Shoemaker from Muhlenberg County. Unfortunately, Miss Angela could not join us in Louisville as she is currently in long-term care in Muhlenberg County Community Hospital due to complications from her knee replacement surgery. But thanks to several individuals, we were able to virtually bring Miss Angela to Louisville through Zoom video conferencing. We would like to give a big shout out to all of the hospital staff for helping make this possible. They went above and beyond, reserving a conference room for us, setting up our technology needs, and welcoming our students and staff. Another big shout out goes to Jarrett Moore. He spent a lot of his time working to make sure everything was good to go with our video conferencing. Marshall Thompson, Julie Penley, Carla Embry, Susan Carver, Lori Wilson, Michelle McDonald, Candace Lyle, KASA, and many others helped make this day a very memorable and well-deserved recognition day for Miss Angela. And it was all done out of love and respect that everyone has for Miss Angela. Thanks to the hospital staff and PACS, we do have Miss Angela with us tonight and would like to present her with her award and most of the $500 that I made it back with from Louisville. Miss Angela's plaque reads, in recognition of your trademark spirit of service, innovation, and commitment to others, positively influencing and impacting the lives of those in Muhlenberg County Schools. Please join me at this time in recognizing the 2019 KASA Fred Award winner, Ms. Angela Shoemaker.
I think that's all. So we're going to move on down to the treasurer's report. Mr. Bletzinger.
Thank you, Chairman Reagan. How cool was that?
That's awesome.
All right, tonight I bring you the financials as of June 30th, 2019. The revenues, as always, our beginning balance is down by $1.6 million for $29,601,127. The revenues this month, the notables are in the taxes. It's down $264,000 from the prior month. That was mainly again in those unmined minerals and whatnot. We do want to mention that we should be getting our tax rates next week, as we submitted all the paperwork. As soon as the state gets the information from the Department of Revenue, they get that information to us. Again, we're going to go with we're going to recommend the compensating rate as per the plan that we had discussed in previous years. And food service is at $3,305. It's down $258,000. That was just because of a timing issue where everyone in the state received their payments for federal food service dollars late. So the total monthly receipts were about $2.9 million for total revenues of $32.5 million. The expenses in June, there were about $2.4 million in expenses. Regular expense about $1 million. Debt service $1,000 over service fees. Construction was $1.3 million. Food service almost $109,000 for $2.4 again. Excuse me. Payroll was at $4.5 million. This is because we do the 4 checks in June for a total expenses of $6.9 million. The significant bills in June were $1.3 million to train, $365,000 to KEME, which is our workman's comp, and $29,000 to POG. And payroll is up $122,000 versus June of 2018, and the sub costs are relatively flat. And the payroll is about 2.6% higher. So I mean it's right in line with what we've been expecting. The accounts payable, the breakdown of all the funds, fixed and mixed expenses were $2 million, variable $198,000, utilities are about $123,000. So of that $2.4 million, again, general revenue, or excuse me, general fund was $889,000, special revenue was $110,000, Construction, 1.3 million. Debt service, 1,000, and food service and daycare were 110,000. So the ledger balance at the end of the month, about 25.568 million. Bank balance, 17.5. Outstanding checks of about 859,000, and with the cash of 16.8 million. The breakdown of the cash is as follows. General fund is at about 9 million. Special revenue is down 229,000. Construction is about 8.1 million. That's up about 1.6 million. A lot of that is transfers from the general fund to that construction. I think debt service is evened out. Food service down 203,000 as discussed previously. Daycare is at 64,000. It's down about $1,200. Our investments are at about 8.715 million. So extended financial picture. We, November of 2019, we expect to have about 9.2 million in. Are any questions?
On the ad valorem taxes, I noticed there was some fluctuation. Is that the timing again, like we had at the end of year last year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
No problem.
Any other discussion? If not, I need a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
I make a motion to approve.
Motion by Ms. Wells and a second by Mr. Bowers. All in favor of approving the treasurer's report, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? I hear none. And payment of bills and salaries.
Thank you again. This month I bring about 3.145 million in board bills. General fund is 697,000. Fund 2 is about 14,000. Construction, 2.3 million. Debt service is 61,500. Food service daycare is almost 32,000. Utilities is about 80,000 of that. Again, other fixed mixed expenses, 3 million of that. Variable expenses about 40,000. The significant bills that are in this are $507,450 to Eves. Those are liability, fleet insurance, all those insurance costs. Old National Wealth Management debt service was 61,519, and train was 2.341 million.
Is there any discussion? If not, I need a motion to approve payment of bills and salaries. Motion by Mr. Johar.
Second.
Second by Ms. Wells. All in favor of payment of bills and salaries, say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. And down to public participation, and we don't have anyone signed up. So we'll move on down to the administrative report.
Thank you, Chairman Rager. Board members, I have about 3 things I'm going to hit on. First, let's the HVAC and the lighting and the water conservation, all that's been going on this summer. I know there's a lot of concern. You hear different rumors going around, but you know, it has been a little, I won't say iffy, but it does make you a little nervous at times 3 or 4 weeks ago when you walk through and, you know, there's so much going on. But Dale Toms has consistently said they're on schedule, they're a little ahead of schedule, and he's met every deadline when they're going to start running water through the pipes, and then when they're going to start the AC and check it out, and all that is going well, and they've made a tremendous amount of progress in the last week. We will be on time. Everything looks fine. They've got a whole lot of work done. Now, there may be some hallways not as waxed as we would like, and a few other things, because our custodians are going to be up against it, because they basically had to stay out of there while this is going on, and now they need to do about 8 weeks worth of work in about 2 or 1. So, you know, there's some work to be done there, and I do want to commend them, because they're going to have a lot of work here to do, and they'll do the best they possibly can. I want to commend our maintenance group for being in the middle of it and trying to get things going, and our tech guys, all of those folks have been, and I'm probably leaving out someone, but they've really been up against it this summer as well. But everything's looking good now, and so a lot of folks have done a lot of good work, and looks like, you know, everything's going to be fine. Summer feeding program, Joe Cooper is not here tonight, but somewhere she's telling somebody how awesome it is, and it has been amazing. I've heard so many stories from folks who have said, you know, these kids got fed they wouldn't have before, or I mean, I've just heard it over and over and over in the community. I hope you have as well. And I've never seen anyone happier, well, maybe Penny, but outside of Penny, anyone happier consistently than Joe has been this summer. She has loved what she's done. And so, again, just hats off to a lot of folks, a lot of cafeteria ladies working with our churches in the community. They've really stepped up, and it's just, she'll be here in August, and I'll give her 10 minutes or 15, and she'll talk about it. The Bremen Ballpark, thank goodness, looks like they were finally breaking ground down there. I went down there today. Alan Miller was here today. He's doing the dirt work. That's Lexi's dad, and he was still around. I was going to get him to talk a little bit, but that's finally moving. It's been a long process, but like I said, they are breaking ground, moving dirt. And he said today the goal is everything is in place, and he goes back in and sows grass before the freeze this year. And if that's the case, then it looks like, ideally, hopefully, spring we'll be able to play some ball on those fields. So that concludes my report.
Oh, short.
All right, we're going to move on down to our board action items. Or our superintendent report, is that part of that too? It's two separate ones now. Or we do it down to board action?
Yeah. Now we're not doing the principal.
Okay,
Sheriff,
that's what I
I'm
was
sorry.
doing.
I'm
That's
sorry.
okay.
We will pick those back up next month.
Okay, so we're moving down to
So you
the
guys
board
on
action
holidays.
items. Trying to throw me off.
Madam Chairman.
All right. We're down to item A, consider second reading of KSBA Board Policy Update number 42. Ms. Brandon.
Good evening. Basically what this is the second reading of the board policy update. We had our first reading on these policies back in the June meeting, and we know that the policies require a second reading to be passed by the board, so I'm asking that that be done tonight.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Johar.
Second.
Second by Ms. Wells. All in favor of considering the second reading of the KSBA Board Policy Update number 42, say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. And down to item B, permission to enter into a partnership with Western Kentucky University Confucius Institute for placement of a Chinese teacher at Muhlenberg North Middle School for the 2019-20 school year.
Thank you, board members, Chairman Rager, Mr. Davis. I think you have the agreement in front of you with the Confucius Institute. We're just asking for you to approve that. Once again, it's at no cost to the district, but that's to have a Chinese teacher at Muhlenberg North Middle School next year.
I have a motion by Mr. Johar, and I'll second. All in favor of giving permission to enter into a partnership with Western Kentucky Confucius Institute to place a Chinese teacher at North Middle School for the school year, say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. And item C, approve contract with the Kentucky Office of Vocational Rehabilitation. Ms. Penley?
Hello, thank you. So I'm here, first of all, to talk about this contract with the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation, and that's a tongue twister when you try to say it several times. This is a fantastic program that we have. We've had it for several years, but changes in the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation is requiring us to enter into a formal memorandum of understanding, which is a good thing. Our program is working very well. Amy Mathis is our employment specialist, and she can see 25 kids. She sees those weekly, and she offers pre-employment services as well as transition services. And we get enough reimbursements from this department to cover her salary and some extra expenses. So I would appreciate if y'all consider entering into the formal memorandum of understanding.
Everyone's had a chance to review that. Is there any discussion? If not, I need a motion to approve the contract. Motion by Mr. Johar.
Second.
Second by Ms. Wells. All in favor of approving the contract with the Kentucky Office of Vocational Rehabilitation, say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none, and stay right there. We're down to item D, consider letter of engagement with Freeman, Mathis, and Gary Law Firm for special education, 504 legal services, and ADA FMLA legal services.
So this is a yearly process again for us to enter into an agreement with Teresa Combs. Two things are happening different with this contract. She's actually changed law offices, so she's with the Freeman, Mathis, and Gary law firm, so that is a change. And then we've also created a change where it will just be a continual contract. So after this year, we won't have to do this year after year.
I have a motion by Mr. Johar. I'll second. All in favor of considering the letter of engagement with Freeman Mathis and Gary Law Firm for the Special Education 504 Legal Services and ADA FMLA Legal Services, say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. And down to approve memorandum of agreement with Pennyroyal Mental Health Center.
Okay. This will be the third year that we have partnered with Pennyroyal Center. They provide school-based clinicians for our elementary schools and a couple of our older kids. And the only change in the contract is it will move to a continual contract, and we won't need to get yearly permission for us to continue our partnership. So that's a good thing.
I'll make a motion to approve the memorandum of agreement. And a second by Mr. Johar. All in favor of approving the memorandum of agreement with the Pennyroyal Mental Health Center, say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none.
Thank you.
And we're down to considering the amendment to the superintendent's contract. As you all know, we met last month to discuss the superintendent's evaluation, and during that time, we noted that the starting salary for our superintendent at the time his contract was started was one of the lowest among any of the comparable districts around in the state. So we felt that with the exemplary evaluation results that he received, that it was necessary to give an increase in the salary to make it more comparable with districts close to us in the state. So we would like to take a vote on increasing that salary by $10,000 annually from the original agreement. And I'll make a motion to approve the amendment to the superintendent's contract where the salary is $130,000. And a second by Mr. Johar. All in favor of amending the current superintendent's contract, say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. And the next item on the agenda is to consider amending the 2019-20 salary schedule.
Thank you, Chairman Rager, Senior Board members. There was a review conducted at Special Education Department. It was recommended that the title of the Community-Based Work Transition Coordinator be renamed to Employment Specialist and moved to our classified hourly grade. It used to be in the stagnant page 0, we call it. So that's been moved, and as such, there was a market adjustment for the substitute caller, and then lastly, the extra service schedule. You know, with the previous board action item, need to adjust the gap stipend for the superintendent.
Is there any discussion? If not, I need a motion to amend the 2019-20 salary schedule to reflect the changes.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Wells and a second by Mr. Bowers. All in favor of considering amending the 2019-20 salary schedule, say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item H, consider school resource officer agreements with various county agencies for fiscal year 20.
Thank you again. What this is that we had a couple of our SRO agreements that began mid-year last year, so we want to they will become, they are those other ones were evergreen, but really want to start out with a fresh one that have the terms each being a year. So basically this year just approving these now being year-long terms, they'll be evergreen. So it's with the fiscal court, which includes the Sheriff's Department, as well as the Central City Police Department and the Greenville Police Department.
Have a motion by Mr. Johar.
Second.
Second by Ms. Wells. All in favor of considering the school resource officer agreements with the various county agencies for the fiscal year 20, say aye. All opposed? I hear none. We're down to item I, new addition on the agenda, and that's to consider agreement between Edmentum and the Muhlenberg County Board of Education.
Thank you, as Chairman Rager. As you recall, last year, we did kind of a pilot with this software. We got it for a significant discount. It's gone up a bit at this time. However, it's still significantly lower than the cost of the original software that we previously had. So it's a total of $38,500. And this covers map testing, ExactPath, Plato, and Study Island.
I have a motion by Mr. Johar, and I'll second. All in favor of considering the agreement between Edmentum and the Muhlenberg County Board of Education, say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. And the next item, J, to consider agreements between Naviance and the Muhlenberg County Board of Education.
Thank you again. Naviance is a software provider that addresses the individual learning plans for the students. The ILP is now an unfunded mandate by KDE in the Kentucky legislature, and it's also required for graduation. So Mr. Bergens felt that this was a good fit for our district.
Any questions? I'll make a motion to approve. Second by Mr. Johar. All in favor of considering the agreement between Naviance and the Muhlenberg County Board of Education, say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none.
Thank you.
We're down to the board consent agenda items. On this today, we have approval of the minutes of the prior board meeting, authorization of the district to file substitute emergency certification forms for the 2019-20 school year, considering emergency certification block-up of 5 teaching positions within the Muhlenberg County School District, approving the leave of absences, facilities use agreements, and field trip requests. Everyone's had a chance to review all of this in your packets. Is there any discussion? If not, I need a motion to approve the board consent agenda items.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Ms. Wells.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bowers. All in favor of approving the board consent agenda items, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? I hear none. And make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Ms. Wells. All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.